salutations and welcome to this Halloween edition of W3L Wrestling Showdown. I hope you have subscribed for your sake. This week I bring you not one but two exclusive, terrifying matches. The first of these will be for the W3L Women's Championship. The new champion, Sara, makes her first defense of the title, and she has to take on her rival, Sammii Jayne. I can't think of two more horrifying women to compete for this championship. So let us go down to the ring to see what transpires.
Ladies and gentlemen, this contest is a singles match set for one fall and is for the W3L Women's Championship. Introducing first of all your challenger. She comes to us from Perth, Sammii Jayne. And introducing her from Fife, she is the W3L Women's Champion, Sara!
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Joe Fordyce here with you on Wrestling Showdown, and the first of two matches that we have for here in our Halloween special. This one for the Women's Championship. You see Sammii Jayne snatching out the hands of referee Sean McLaughlin. Of course, everybody getting in the Halloween spirit. Sammii Jayne coming dressed as Wonder Woman. And she's demanding a title, but she has to beat the cheerleader Sara if she actually wants to get it. And she's got hold of those pom-poms that Sara brought to ringside with her. Well, thankfully her wrestling ability is better than her cheerleading skills. Let's just leave it at that. But these two have been no strangers to each other, of course. They've fought a few times here in W3L. Interestingly, the last time that Sara appeared on Wrestling Showdown was back in August of 2015 in a mixed tag team match as she and Mike Musso took on Nathan Black and Sammii Jayne. And it was a loss for Sara and Musso in that match. Sammii Jayne pinned Sara to win the tag match. Now Sara has of course returned after a hiatus, making a big impact by defeating Leah Owens for the Women's Championship, and this is her first match back on Showdown since then. So you know she wants to redress the balance and then raise the memory of that mixed tag team match defeat by retaining her title over Sammii Jayne this week here on Wrestling Showdown. And Jayne just stalling, doing everything except wrestling here. This is obviously an attempt to maybe throw Sara off whatever plan she's had for the match, but Sara quite comfortable just taking her time. She's not fussed or fazed by this whatsoever. Because Sara, the matriarch of Scottish women's wrestling, gets sent over that monkey flip. Sammii Jayne immediately trying to pin the shoulders to the canvas and hold her down, but Sara is not letting it happen. And Sara, what a great bridge. She is not budging whatsoever. Sammii Jayne is struggling to get Sara's shoulders down. And here's another monkey flip. Rolled into sunset flip. This one could be over quickly here. And it's pinfall attempt after pinfall attempt after pinfall attempt here, ladies and gentlemen. Neither woman hanging around. Backslide. Both of his arms trapped. Neither person's got an advantage. They've each had a number of near falls. And Sara gets first blood, you might say, with a clothesline in the back elbow. And things firmly going the way of the champion. But Sammii Jayne holding on to those ropes. Of course, Shawn McLaughlin has to make Sara break till he gets Sammii off those ropes so they can continue the match. These two met in Showdown back in April of last year as well, in a singles contest. Sammii Jayne actually pinned Sara in that contest as well. So she has got a couple of victories over the current women's champion. And of course, W3L women's title, a championship that Sammii Jayne has never held. She's had a few title opportunities, but it's never quite worked out for her. Oh, what's she going for here? Sara jumps over her. Sammii changing position as well. And Sara goes for it. Oh, and Sammii Jayne completely mistimed that one. Her ring positioning was kind of off, and she's ended up heavily landing on the floor. And it's a solid wooden floor as well. And Sara giving chase. Again, there is some animosity between these two. Oh, and a leg drop right across the lower back. As we've seen before on Showdown, that's sometimes a drawback of being the second person to roll into the ring. Nice snap suplex by Sammii Jayne, floats straight in for the cover. I mean, say what you want about her, she does screech a lot, she often capers around. A lot of folk think she's just kind of fun and games in some respects, but she's very serious at what she does. And if there's an opportunity to win a match, she is going to take it. And you should never take Sammii Jayne lightly. Do not underestimate this woman, because as we've seen in the past, she is a very tough competitor, able to score a victory whenever it is required. She just throttles Sara in the ropes, also willing to do anything it takes to get the victory, as you can see. And she would love dearly to get yet another victory over Sara, because this one would give her the women's title. Sara goes off the ropes and just kicks Sammii Jayne. Absolutely nailed with that boot there. It's given Sara a few moments to recover. And right into the corner she goes, however. Now, Sara's only had a handful of matches under her belt since returning from her hiatus, both in W3L and elsewhere as well, so potentially she's kind of rusty, you might say. Maybe she's not up to speed, but the fact that she defeated Leah Owens at Resolution 10 to become Women's Champion shows that Sara, even if she's not at 100%, is still easily good enough to kind of beat anybody that gets put in front of her. But she's going to struggle to beat Sammii Jayne here, because Sara's really on the defensive now, and Wonder Woman is taking the advantage. And she's clamped on that sleeper hold, and you see she lifts Sara off the canvas there. Sara's just being dangled by the throat. But of course, being on the ropes, that's an illegal assist, so she only has a 5 count as to break it. And Sara with the Hurricane Rana. And that's an impressive move. Sammii Jayne went flying right across the ring. Sara charges in with that forearm. And she'll be going for another one. It's exactly what it is. Match turning in her favour now. And the crowd, ironically, she's come dressed as a cheerleader, but they're all cheerleading for her. Gets in for the wheelbarrow and hits the bulldog. Sammii Jayne being driven face first into the canvas there. This could end it. Sara in for the cover, but Sammii Jayne kicking out. Of course, this Women's Championship so important to both women. Oh, Sara went for the kick, and Sammii Jayne has one of her own. That enziguri drops Sara to her knees. Then she got her right in the back of the skull as well. And down goes Sara, slammed to the canvas. We're going to have a new women. No, we're not. The champion determined to retain this title, whatever happens. Sammii Jayne arguing with the crowd, saying it should have been a 3. Perhaps she should have used her lasso of truth to tie Sara's ankles together so she couldn't get up. Northern Light suplex. Not a move we often see from Sara. Obviously wanting to try something new, something different against Sammii Jayne. She's hooking up for the serotonin, and she hits it. This has got to be all. Sara's going to retain the title, I'm sure. But Sammii Jayne kicks out the serotonin, and that's put away lots and lots of people. Sara must be thinking, what next? What can I hit on Sammii Jayne to keep her down permanently? As Jayne just nails her with that double knee lift right at the corner. But it's only a 2 count. Now Sammii Jayne showing a bit of frustration. Because what can she do? She's hit Sara with some big moves, some impressive stuff. But the champion still kicking out. She's determined that she's not going to have a short title reign. She's the only 3-time women's champion in W3L history. What a phenomenal accolade that is when you consider women that have held the title over the years. The fact she's done it 3 times really raises Sara into an echelon all of her own. Sammii Jayne would love to be a 1-time women's champion, and certainly has the skills to do it. Sara's got hold of her, going for a superplex it looks like. And that is exactly what it is. And Sammii Jayne took the brunt of that one. You can see clutching at her back. That's a big distance to fall. And bear in mind, this W3L ring is really solid. It's not like a trampoline. It's not especially padded. It's very, very solid. It's wood and metal. Jayne trying to create some distance, but Sara going right after her. Now they're both on the ring apron. As you know, there's no padding there. It's literally just a piece of canvas over a metal frame. And they're trading blows. This could be dangerous if one of them falls out. Just as I say that, Sammii Jayne gets knocked right off the ring apron. And Sara, launching herself right at her, hits the Thez press. I'm sure Lou Thez never looked quite as good doing it as Sara did. And now they continue the fight on the floor. And Sammii Jayne trying to get away, grabbing a seat. And Sara just launches herself straight at her. Hits her with the crossbody on the floor. Nearly broken the chair. The crowd being caught in the crossfire. Hall of Famer David Wilson in getting those photographs. And Shawn McLaughlin's continuing that count. And he's up to 9. Are they going to get back in the ring in time?
Ladies and gentlemen, this match has been officially a double countout.
So the match goes to a double countout. It's officially a draw. Sara's going to retain the belt, but Sammii Jayne not having that. Runs her right in that ring post. Sara threw everything she had at Sammii Jayne, herself mainly. And Sammii Jayne, look at this, she's got hold of the title belt. Sara's been laid out on the floor. And Jayne posing, she does not have the championship, however. Because of course this was a double counter. I'm sure we've not heard the last of the issue between these two. As Sara slowly rolling back into the ring. Don't think Sammii Jayne's noticed her. Oh, and she gets nailed right in the skull. What a contest this has been, ladies and gentlemen.
As a result of that double countout, still W3L Women's Champion, Sara!
A double countout. What a ghastly way to end a contest. And I am sure W3L management will be attempting to put a rematch together as soon as is inhumanly possible. Now I promised you a second match, and I am nothing if not a demon of my word. So our second match is something very different. It's a trick or treat rumble. 8 of the most horrific wrestlers in W3L have donned their scariest attire and will do battle, entering at 60-second intervals. Who will win this most frightening of contests? Let us all find out as we return to ringside.
and gentlemen, this match is our Trick or Treat Rumble. Introducing your first participant, standing to my left, this is Lucian Charlie Brown. And his opponent standing to my right, this is Lemmy Musso.
So our second match this week is our Trick or Treat Rumble. Everyone has come dressed up as someone else. Lucian Smith has come as Charlie Brown, and certainly that singlet does look like he's smuggling peanuts. Whereas Mike Musso is hell-raising Motorhead frontman Lemmy. He brought a drink of some description to the ring with him. Let's hope that the only white lines he's seen are the ones on the road leading to this venue. But this is going to be a case where all the participants will be entering at 1 minute intervals. And of course, only one man can win, as Lemmy Musso's hat gets sent straight out the ring. And Lucian Charlie Brown being clobbered here. No doubt he'll be thinking, please don't touch. As Lemmy Musso gives him his iron fist. Or should it be his iron knee? Lemmy Musso, moved, and Lucian Charlie Brown hit the reverse neckbreaker. I don't think he quite caught as much as he wanted, but it certainly interrupted Lemmy Musso's balance, causing him to collapse to the mat there. But any advantage is good, I suppose, and he could be about to be eliminated as our next entrant is about to be introduced. And Lucian Charlie Brown is landed on the ring apron. Who's going to be coming in next? Wow, it's Deathstroke. Now, I don't know if somebody's taken a contract out one of these two men in here, but this master of hand-to-hand combat and martial arts is going to be a real force in this one. As Lucian Charlie Brown gets hit with a knee lift. And in comes Deathstroke. Just biding his time, watching what's going on in the corner here. And he crashes into Lucian Charlie Brown. And you see Deathstroke's wearing an eye patch. That's so he doesn't have to look fully at Lucian Charlie Brown's singlet, I think. And poor Lucian Charlie Brown being the brunt of the assault from Lemmy Musso and Deathstroke here. He's probably regretting drawing an early number. And it looks like these two men hold all the aces. Oh, and a double low blow. As our next entrance about to be introduced to, will this be? Hang on a second, it's the Owens twin. It's not Leah or Casey. It's the other Owens twin, I suppose, looking suspiciously like Tapacow the Citrus Cyclone, but regardless, it's the Owens twin. Oh, certainly it's the same pose that all the Owens twins do. Oh, and the Owens twin's been eliminated right away. Lucian Charlie Brown has eliminated the Owens twin. It was a short stay for him, whichever. Lucian Charlie Brown being worked over again by Deathstroke. And of course, Lemmy Musso as well. And right into the corner, this man, absolutely no class. It's going to be a real damage case at the end of this one, isn't it? Lucian Charlie Brown. It's been pretty much double teamed for the whole thing. About to get our fifth entrant. Who will this be? Hellacious Zombie Lions. Now I just want you to know that this man is 40, centuries old. So he has a wealth of experience, albeit mainly undead. He's going to be a difficult competitor as he wanders around ringside, biding his time. Lucian Charlie Brown taking that double suplex. Because being a zombie, he does like to eat flesh, particularly that of younger females. But if there's none of them around, he'll happily take a bite of Lemmy Musso and Deathstroke. And Hellacious Zombie Lions hasn't even entered the ring yet. And Lemmy Musso and Deathstroke leaving there. They've gone through the ropes, so that's okay. If you go over the top, you're eliminated. But Lemmy Musso and Zombie Lions fighting. Now they've got back into the ring. And Deathstroke Not having any of this. As another entrant prepares to come in. As the ring begins to fill up, we get another participant about to be introduced. Hang on. And Lemmy Musso gets eliminated. His chance of winning are stone dead forever. And here comes the field ghoul, this demonic American footballer. Lovely head of hair on him there. At one point, the field ghoul gave up playing American football to train to become a hairdresser, but he kept getting penalised for clipping. As Lemmy Musso just spits some of that mysterious drink in the eyes of hellacious zombie lions and then eliminates him. And the field ghoul lunges Lucian Charlie Brown right into the feet of Deathstroke. He's hoping for a touchdown victory in this one, eliminating all his opponents. To make his own personal Super Bowl. And yet again, Lucian Charlie Brown holding on. And who's going to come in next? Who can this be? It's Aspen Grave. More like Aspen Wraith if you ask me, but regardless, it's the undead form of Aspen Faith who's come dressed as his own t-shirt. And the field goal's going straight forward. And hang on, it's that other Owens twin. Remember, there is two of them. So the other Owens twin has entered the ring now. Aspen Grave on the ring apron and pulls the field goal with him. These two monstrosities fighting on the apron. This is dangerous for them. Remember, if they touch the floor, they are out. As the Owens twin tackling Lucian Charlie Brown. Oh! And Aspen Grave in the field goal crash the floor, as does the other Owens twin. So this is Deathstroke versus Lucian Charlie Brown. And we've got one last participant to enter. And a spinebuster from Deathstroke. Super Kevio coming to ringside. He's brought his own powder with him. Ideally would have brought Luigi and maybe a couple of other assistants to help him from getting flung out, but he goes straight to work on Lucian Charlie Brown. He's been the focal point of the whole match, I think, is Lucian Charlie Brown. I think people just want to stop having a look at that singlet of his. And a low blow on Deathstroke. And runs some knee lifts into Super Kevio. And throttles him with his boot. Princess Peach won't be happy with that. A big European uppercut. And Lucian Charlie Brown, he's been in this match the longest, but it's actually going his way. He's actually handling both opponents, and both men collide. Super Kevio gets dumped to the floor. Oh, it's back to Super Mario World from him. Oh, he's going for the choke slam from Heck. But Deathstroke turns round and hits the spear. And the crowd want to see Lucian Charlie Brown eliminated. And that's exactly what happens.
Ladies and gentlemen, Lucian Charlie Brown is eliminated. Here is your winner, Deathstroke!
A victory there by the W3L heavyweight champion Nathan Reynolds. And if you have enjoyed our frightening matches we've presented this week, but you would like to see us live and in person, then I have some news for you. We return to live action on December the 28th, when we will be in Petticoat Bay Holiday Park in Kinghorn, Fife, for another live event. Make sure you are there by getting your tickets from our website, w3lwrestling.com. And while you're there, you can find out about our Action Academy, because maybe you have watched today's episode and maybe you think that you could step into the ring with the W3L stars. That is your place to train, the Action Academy. And one last thing, if you happen to have a birthday coming up, as I assume you will, we can host birthday parties. Don't worry, there will be nobody there that's dressed like me. Unless you want there to be. But if you want to celebrate your birthday in a wrestling style, get in touch with us here at W3L. I'm sure we can accommodate all the ghouls and goblins out there. Make sure you've visited our website. Like us on Facebook. Give us a follow on Twitter. Please use the hashtag W3L Wrestling Showdown. It gets so lonely sitting up there doing nothing. And join us in Petticoat Bay on the 28th of December. But first, make sure you're back here next week. I will bring you more wrestling right here on the W3L network.